South Africa, a land of breathtaking landscapes. Majestic mountains pierce the sky. Golden beaches stretch as far as the eye can see. But, beneath this beauty lies a dark undercurrent. A hidden war is raging. The cartels are here. They are ruthless, they are powerful, and honestly, they are tearing South Africa apart. From the bustling streets of Johannesburg to the tranquil shores of Cape Town, violence simmers. The smell of fear hangs heavy in the air. Gunfire shatters the night. Innocent blood stains the ground. This is the reality of South Africa's cartel war. A war fought in the shadows. A war that threatens to consume the nation. The world sees South Africa's beauty, but really, few witness the true cost of its hidden war. The families torn apart, the communities living in fear, the dreams shattered by violence. This is the untold story of South Africa's descent into cartel-fueled chaos. South Africa, with its strategic location and porous borders, became a prime target. Eastern European crime syndicates saw an opportunity. They were ruthless and efficient. They established drug routes. They built alliances. They brought their brutal tactics to South African shores. Latin American cartels followed. They saw a nation ripe for exploitation. They brought their own brand of violence and corruption. They forged partnerships with local gangs. The underworld was transformed. A tangled web of international crime took root. Drugs flowed in. Cocaine, heroin, and crystal meth flooded the streets. Money laundering operations flourished. Violence escalated at an alarming rate. South Africa was becoming a key player in the global drug trade. The grip of the cartels tightened. Vito Palazzolo, a Sicilian mafioso, found refuge in South Africa. He built a business empire. He forged connections with corrupt officials. He became an untouchable kingpin. His influence permeated every level of society. Nelson Pablo Yester-Garrido, a notorious Colombian drug lord, saw the potential of South Africa. He established a cocaine trafficking network. He used violence to eliminate rivals and silence informants. His name inspired fear and dread. These were just two of the many criminal masterminds operating in South Africa. They were the puppet masters. They pulled the strings from the shadows. They orchestrated chaos and profited from the suffering of others. George Darmanovic, a Serbian underworld figure, was found dead in 2004. He had been shot execution style. His murder sent shockwaves through the criminal underworld. It was a message. Nobody was untouchable. Milan Juricic, another Serbian national with ties to organized crime, was gunned down in 2009. His death was a professional hit, swift and brutal. It highlighted the ruthlessness of the cartels operating in South Africa. Timothy Lotter, a former policeman turned security consultant, was assassinated in 2011. He had been investigating drug trafficking and police corruption. His murder was a blow to the fight against organized crime. These assassinations were not isolated incidents. They were calculated acts of violence. They were meant to silence anyone who dared to stand in the way of the cartels. The message was clear. Investigate and you will be silenced. Corruption became endemic within the South African police force. Officers were bribed to turn a blind eye to criminal activity. Some even actively participated in the drug trade. The lines between law enforcement and organized crime, well, they blurred. The justice system was also compromised. Witnesses were intimidated. Cases were thrown out due to lack of evidence. Judges and prosecutors were bribed. The cartels had infiltrated the very institutions meant to uphold the law. This culture of impunity emboldened the criminals. They operated with near impunity. They knew they could get away with murder, and often they did. The rule of law was crumbling. South Africa was becoming a narco state. Ordinary South Africans are caught in the crossfire. They live in daily fear of violence. Communities are, just being terrorized by gangs fighting for control of drug turf. Schools and playgrounds have become battlegrounds. The streets are no longer safe. Stray bullets claim innocent lives. Extortion is commonplace. Businesses are forced to pay protection money or face the consequences. The fabric of society is being torn apart. The psychological toll is honestly immeasurable. Trauma and fear are widespread. People are afraid to speak out. They fear retaliation. They feel abandoned by the authorities. The human cost of this war is, well, immeasurable. South Africa stands at a crossroads. The grip of the cartels is tightening. Corruption is rampant. Violence is spiraling out of control. The future looks bleak, but there is still hope. The spirit of the South African people is unbreakable. They have overcome adversity before. They have a long and proud history of fighting for justice and equality. They will not surrender their country to criminals. The international community must also play its part. South Africa cannot fight this war alone. It needs support. It needs resources. It needs the world to stand with it in solidarity. There are those who refuse to be silenced. Brave journalists risk their lives to expose the truth. Honest police officers stand up to corruption, putting their lives on the line. Community activists work tirelessly to protect their neighborhoods. These individuals are beacons of hope in a dark time. They are the ones who give voice to the voiceless. They are the ones who refuse to let fear win. They are the ones who believe that a better future is possible. Their stories need to be told. Their sacrifices need to be honored. Their efforts need to be supported. They are the frontline soldiers in the fight against organized crime. They are the true heroes of South Africa. The world is watching South Africa. The world is watching to see if you will succumb to the darkness or rise up to meet this challenge. The world is watching to see if you will choose justice over fear. The fight against organized crime is a global fight. It requires a united front. It requires courage, determination, and unwavering resolve. It requires us to stand together and say no more. The time for complacency is over. The time for action is now. The future of South Africa hangs in the balance. The world is watching. Choose wisely.